lined up on the public officials is a Carolyn Merrick from South Windsor Town Council.
Thank you, committee members, for hearing my testimony to support proposed Bill 5347, an act prohibiting the use of latex gloves in food businesses. My name is Carolyn Merrick, and I serve on the Town Council in South Windsor, and I have a life-threatening latex allergy. I was very active in my profession, even serving as president of the Hartford Dental Hygienists Association. In 2001, I was disabled from my career as a registered dental hygienist due to latex allergy. I also have a permanent partial disability, as I may inadvertently have other exposures to latex. I was forced to fight a 4-year grueling battle culminating in a 6-day federal jury trial and 2 other lawsuits to prove my disability and the cause, which was latex gloves. In January 2012, a federal appeal court found that latex allergy meets the American Disability Act definition of a disability. Who knew that the latex gloves that I wore for protection while treating patients could cause life-threatening anaphylaxis? If I enter a room or business that has latex balloons, I must leave immediately. Latex particles are invisible. I cannot see latex toxins in the air or on the food. I'm going to give you my first and my most recent examples of allergy reactions. In 2001, my family was having lunch at an amusement park here in Connecticut. After one bite of a sandwich, my eye swelled shut and I could not breathe. I saw the box of latex gloves, and I knew I was sensitive to latex gloves, but no one ever told me that anaphylaxis could occur from somebody touching my food with latex gloves. I had been eating latex without my knowledge, and it could kill me. According to the American Latex Association, latex gloves are dangerous in food preparation since proteins shed from the gloves onto the food. Eating food contaminated with latex proteins can cause anaphylactic shock and possible death in sensitive individuals. I always carry a emergency packet with inhaler, epinephrine, Benadryl, just in case, and cards printed allergy alert. A lot of people think that because I have an EpiPen, I'm good to go. Well, if you use an EpiPen, that means a trip to the hospital. As recent as this past July, I had my most severe reaction, and I thought I was going to die. It was so severe, I was treated emergently at the scene, put on oxygen, and immediately transported to St. Francis Hospital. How many people have latex allergy? The number of people are underreported. A lot of people don't know they have it. I had a latex allergy looking back for probably many years before it culminated to the point of diagnosis. They say, and that amount is growing. They're saying between 1 and possibly up to 6% of the population has latex allergy, according to NIOSH Alert. As a comparison, 1% has peanut allergy, and everybody knows about that. In fact, all medical facilities ask if patients have a latex allergy. It's that common and that severe. Oregon, Rhode Island, and Arizona banned latex from restaurants. A restaurant in Manchester, Connecticut recently went latex-free because one of their cooks developed latex allergy. Your own cafeteria here at the LOB is latex-free. The manager said it was his company's policy to protect the public. Other chains such as Subway, Chipotle, and Bonefish Grill do the same. I sell gloves for my dental supply company, and latex gloves are more expensive now than other kinds. So why would anybody choose the more expensive, life-threatening type? Latex is proven to transfer and stick to food, glasses, and plates for 24 hours. Latex protein becomes a hidden food allergen. Latex particles from gloves, rubber cooking utensils, and balloons become airborne and inhaled. Workers in food service are often unaware of the latex risk and potentially deadly consequences. Many professionals wear latex gloves today, many more than did before, such as food service, hairstylists, daycare workers, repairmen, and janitors. And now they are experiencing a wave of newly developed latex allergies like the healthcare workers experienced since the 1980s. The Food Safety Manual, the Food Safe Handler, states, provide workers with non-latex gloves because latex gloves might cause a reaction in some workers. Our own Connecticut Department of Public Health website has a section titled Food Protection. This article provides a link to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that since 1997 states, non-latex gloves are recommended for tasks such as food preparation, routine housekeeping, and maintenance that are not likely to involve contacts with infection material such as blood. Shouldn't the state of Connecticut abide by the CDC, especially if they list it as a reference? Less expensive, safer alternatives to latex gloves are available. The risk of exposure to this hidden toxin being served to unsuspecting diners, as well as those preparing the food, can be eliminated. Latex allergies are real and preventable. Reduce the incidences of increased latex exposure, allergic reactions, workers' comp claims, lost wages, and disability claims. Let's follow the CDC guidelines on our State of Connecticut Food Protection website. Thank you for your consideration, and I hope you'll support this proposed bill.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Any questions? Representative Aman.
Thank you, Carolyn, for coming in and making me aware of this last summer, that the severe problems that you were having. I think one of the more interesting things that you talked to me about was in the restaurant industry, the number of people who have left restaurants and accused them of having food poisoning, and really it was a latex allergy. Can you talk about some of the less severe reactions that people have more commonly to latex?
Yes. Some of the reactions I've had, in fact, we were together at one event where I had called ahead before attending to see if they would be using latex gloves, and was assured that they weren't. I got there and I asked again, and they said I was okay. They weren't using gloves that day. And I had one cocktail meatball. Shortly after, I started asking everybody in the room, is it hot in here? Aren't you feeling hot? And, it was a lot of people, so I just thought it was warm. And then I started getting other symptoms. I started turning red. I started having a little bit of difficulty breathing. And then I felt an urgent need. I had to leave because of nausea. And so the next day I did call back that restaurant, and they said, no, we didn't use them. And I said, I'll hold on the line. Could you please check with your chef? And she said, well, we only use it for the raw bar, and there was no raw bar. She came back to the phone and said, oh, yeah, the chef used them. So in spite of diligence, sometimes it's hard if those gloves are still there that anybody, can use. But thank you.
As a glove salesperson, which is probably one of the more unique occupations.
Well, dental supplies and equipment is included.
There's been a discussion of several different types of gloves. Can you just go quickly through some of them that are available to the industry that they could pick from, since we've been basically saying latex and vinyl, and I think both of them are more generic type terms?
Yeah, latex is natural rubber-based gloves, and the price of those gloves have escalated over time. The more common ones are vinyl, that are used, the typical food handler gloves that you see here in your LOB. There's also as Dr. Srinivasan mentioned, nitrile gloves, which are more form-fitting, which we use in medicine and dentistry. And there's also a whole wave of other latex-free gloves that are coming out, neoprene, chloroprene, other synthetic forms.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming forward and letting us know what the problems are.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, Representative Rivero?
Well, you're only supposed to wear the gloves. They're called disposable. So you're supposed to only use them for a very limited time. And that's another issue with food service, is that some people think it's a false sense of security that, oh, I've got gloves on. So you still have to change them regularly because you're going to touch, the counter or touch money. So they're changing over pretty regularly. So I'm not sure how to answer how they last as long because they're not supposed to be on too long.
Because, being a former business owner, I'm always reluctant to pass any bill that's going to cost the business person extra money. But in this case here, when the vinyl costs less than the latex, it almost sounds to me like a no-brainer that we don't pass something like this that could help save someone's life. I mean, if you were talking about it was going to be 3 or 4 times the cost and so forth, I might say, well, can the businesses afford it? But on the other hand, it's going to be cheaper for them, and we know from your testimony and the doctor's testimony that it could save someone's life and a lot of pain. And so I can't see any reason at all, Mr. Chairman, why a bill like this wouldn't sail right through and give the help to people like yourself that they need. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that with there are so many different types of gloves that are less expensive, that are better protection, and that there is more education that needs to be out there, because the first thing when I go into a restaurant or I call ahead is, I have a life-threatening latex allergy. I need to find out whether or not you use latex gloves. And many times the first response I get is, oh, yeah, we use gloves. We use latex. They think they're all latex. It's like a misnomer that all gloves are latex.
Any other questions? Representative Orange.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for coming in today. I find this to be very interesting. Since your allergy belongs to you and you would know best on the situation, when you're transported by ambulance, do they already know that you are allergic to latex so that they don't have it on the transport? I mean, is it still like a box of them over on a shelf going to enhance your allergy? And what do they use? And once again, the same question would go to the emergency department. Once you get to the emergency department, what type of gloves are they using currently, or at St. Francis, since that's where you seem to be going? Mm-hmm. And do they have latex around the area that would enhance your disability?
I was fortunate that the ambulance that came did have nitrile gloves, and I choose to go to St. Francis Hospital because I know that they use latex. They're latex-free per their policy, because I do business with the dental clinic there, and yeah, it's a big concern. I know in my own hometown in South Windsor that the police and the fire departments use latex-free gloves, so that makes me feel safe, because I know of other people who have this issue that were told they had to buy their own life-saving devices, which is, to me, unacceptable. Because anybody could have a latex allergy or could have it but are still unaware.
Well, I just noticed recently that on a questionnaire that one of the questions was, are you allergic to latex? So I think that people are finally becoming aware of this allergy if they're asking it on their medical questionnaires.
Yes.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, thank you so much for sharing your experiences and insight. We've